Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, welcome. I am your little darling narrator, and on this channel, I read stories. Not just any stories, but I think I read some really great stories for the young readers. And if you are not subscribed to this channel, I strongly recommend you go ahead and you subscribe, because all we do here are read good stories for the young readers. And if there's any story that you like, don't forget, hit that like button. That just helps this channel, and we appreciate all the support that we've been getting. So stay tuned. The name of this story is called Franklin Makes a Deal. Franklin had lots of things to play with. He had puzzles and games, blocks and balls. He had a bicycle and a toboggan and skates. But he didn't have a Super Duper Spy Kit. Franklin really wanted a Super Duper Spy Kit, and so he made a super duper deal. Franklin rushed up the lane and into his backyard. "Dad, Dad," he panted, "the new Super Duper Spy Kit is in the toy shop. I just have to get one." "How much does it cost?" his father asked. "That's the problem," replied Franklin. "It costs $10, and I've only got 5. "That is a problem," agreed his father. But Franklin had an idea. "I'll do an extra chore," he said. "You can pay me $5. $5 is a lot of money," his father replied. "It would have to be a pretty big chore." "That's okay," said Franklin. "I'll do anything for a Super Duper Spy Kit." His father thought for a minute. "The fence needs painting," he finally said. Franklin looked at the fence. It stretched all the way around the yard. "Have we got a deal?" his father asked. Franklin gulped and nodded. Franklin ran into the house and emptied his piggy bank. "What's going on?" asked his mother. Franklin explained the deal he made with his father. "So now I'm going to the store to buy a Super Duper Spy Kit," he finished. Franklin found his father in the backyard. "Can I have my $5? he asked. "First, you paint the fence. Then I pay you the money," replied his father. "But," began Franklin. "No buts," his father said. "That's the deal." He handed Franklin a can of paint and a brush. Franklin lugged the paint over to the fence and got started. In a little while, his wrist was stiff and his back hurt. His neck ached and his knees were sore. An hour later, he was hot and tired and bored. But then he thought about the Super Duper Spy Kit. "It's worth all this work," Franklin decided. By mid-afternoon, Franklin wasn't so sure. He was only halfway around the yard. He felt even worse when Beaver and Fox came by to visit. They both had their Super Duper Spy Kits. "When are you getting one?" Fox asked. "As soon as I finish the painting," replied Franklin. Beaver looked at the fence. "That's gonna take forever," she said. But then Franklin had an idea. "I'd be finished in no time if you both helped me," he said. Fox and Beaver looked at each other. "Please," begged Franklin. "It's lots of fun." "Fun?" said Beaver. It looks like work. Well, it's a little bit of work, Franklin agreed, but you'll like painting. Fox and Beaver looked at each other again. I'll get you some cookies, offered Franklin. It's a deal, said Fox and Beaver. Franklin found 2 more paintbrushes. Then he ran into the house. Beaver and Fox are helping me paint, he told his mother. I promised them cookies. These cookies are for the school bake sale, his mother replied. Please, begged Franklin. His mother thought for a moment. Here's the deal, she said. You can have some of these cookies if you clean up the dishes. Then I can make another batch for the bake sale. Franklin looked at the sink full of bowls and spoons, measuring cups and cookie sheets. Then he looked out the window at the fence. Okay, he mumbled. Franklin was filling the sink when Bear came to the door. Franklin explained what was going on. I have to wash the dishes so my mom will give me cookies so I can give some to Beaver and Fox so they'll help me paint the fence so my dad will give me $5 so I can go buy a Super Duper Spy Kit. Wow, said Bear. Then Franklin had another idea. If you wash the dishes, I could keep painting. Then I could get to the store today to buy a Super Duper Spy Kit, he said. Bear thought for a moment. I'll do the dishes if you let me play with your Super Duper Spy Kit, he said. It's a deal, said Franklin. Franklin went back to painting with Beaver and Fox. Soon, Bear joined them. All done, Bear said. Franklin ran inside. The dishes are done, he called to his mother. Franklin grabbed handfuls of cookies and hurried back to his friends. Have a cookie, Bear, he said, and here's your paintbrush. Hey, said Bear, painting wasn't part of the deal. It is now, laughed Beaver. In no time at all, the fence was painted. Franklin's father gave him $5. Let's go, cried Franklin. Now I have $10. The friends ran all the way to the toy shop. There was a big sign in the window that read, Super Duper Sale. Super Duper Spy Kits are on sale. Regular price $10, now only $5. Franklin bought 2. Gee, Franklin, said Bear, thanks for buying me my very own Super Duper Spy Kit. Franklin laughed. How could I turn down a deal like that, he said. Well, that ends our story. And again, we had a good one. Franklin was wheeling and dealing in this one, wouldn't you say? He had so many deals going, it was hard to keep up with him. I'm not sure how he did, but he did. It all started with him wanting that Super Duper Spy Kit. And he figured out he had $5, but he needed 10. So he needed 5 more. So he went to Dad. Who doesn't go to Dad? But Dad wasn't just going to give it to him. He was going to have to earn it. So he had to work a deal out with Dad. And it wasn't an easy deal because the deal was in order to get that $5, he was going to have to paint the fence. And that was the whole fence around the backyard. And it wasn't something small. It wasn't something easy. But he agreed to do it because he saw at the end he was going to get that $5 and he was going to get that Super Duper Spy Kit. So he ended up working and said, it was worth it. But a little later on, he figured, it's starting not to get worth it. And that's when the friends came along and he saw deals. Maybe he can get them to help him if he can work a deal with him. And every time a friend came up, he worked a deal with that friend to help him. So I'm going to say Franklin, was able to really will and deal his way to not just getting him a super duper spy kit, but he was able to buy his friend Bear one, which was, I thought, cool. Because again, in the end, that meant he didn't have to share his because Bear had his own. So all's well that ends well, wouldn't you think? Well, until next time, my young readers, I am your little darling narrator, out.